Funding for this edition of State of Affairs with Steve Adubato has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Here when you need us most. The Russell Berry Foundation, making a difference. Operating Engineers, Local 825. New Jersey's Clean Energy Program, lighting the way to a clean energy future. Rutgers University, Newark. Johnson & Johnson. NJM Insurance Group, serving New Jersey's drivers, homeowners, and business owners for more than 100 years. New Jersey Sharing Network, and by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, part of the USA Today network. And by Meadowlands Media, a print and digital business news network.
Hi, everyone. Steve Adubato. We kick off the program with Robin Lavorato, who is Executive Director of Essex Health and Wellness Recovery Center. Good to see you, Robin.
Thanks, Steve. Nice to see you as well.
You got it. We're putting up the website of your organization right now. Describe the work of the center and why it's so significant.
Sure. We are the Essex Health and Wellness Recovery Center, and what we do is recovery supports. We really and truly do a lot of work with individuals and families who are struggling with substance use disorder. We assist families to help their loved ones get into treatment. If they need detox, they need treatment centers. We help them to find sober livings, which are so very important. We also will help them with recovery supports after they are successfully discharged from treatment. We will help them get into programs for housing, clothing, food and education, occupation, things like that.
I should also thank our mutual friend, Judge Jose Linares, former chief of the federal courts, Judge Linares, who reached out and shared about your work because he's deeply concerned personally as well as professionally about these issues of addiction. And one of the issues he talked to me about that I know you're dealing with very directly is, now I was going to say the opioid crisis, but connect for everyone the opioid into the fentanyl crisis and why it's so incredibly significant and terrible.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you to Judge Linares. He's been amazingly supportive of our work at the Essex Health and Wellness Recovery Center. He has seen the devastation of opioids, fentanyl firsthand on the bench.
In the courts, as a judge.
Right. Yes, absolutely. He has seen more than his share, and he knows the devastation. He also knows that treatment is very important, and then locking people up and throwing away the key is not really the answer. So there has to be a combination, right? We want to keep those drug dealers off the street for sure, but people that are struggling with it, we want to make sure that they get the help they need. To answer your question, the opioid crisis really started back, about 20-something years ago. The pharmaceutical companies were strongly pushing the oxycodone to doctors, telling them that they really need for their patients to have no pain. Insurance companies shouldn't be paying for doctors who can't get rid of pain. And these doctors were prescribing oxycodone like crazy. People were getting addicted left and right, as well as doctors themselves. And they, at some point, had to get something a little bit cheaper. So they would go to the streets and get heroin, which is an opioid-based drug, illegally. And what happened from there, we did start seeing some overdoses because of the heroin and also the large use of oxycodone and other opioids. But all of a sudden, the drug dealers wanted something cheaper. It was very expensive to make the oxy. So they were getting the chemicals from China, which really just threw a whammy on us. Coming in through the Mexican border, And we have drug dealers who are just mixing things up like they're a pharmacist, and they're not. We see the DEA going into the United States Drug Enforcement Administration, going into these drug dealers' homes where they have these fake pharmaceutical labs set up, and they're just putting these fentanyl in with oxys, in with cocaine, in with heroin. It's even been found in marijuana. We know these drug dealers, they're not really too worried about their clients, right? There's many out there, and they're bagging heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, marijuana, all on the same table in the same room. And one speck of fentanyl getting into the marijuana can cause an overdose and a death to any of our
That's
people.
what I was going to ask. Anecdotally, and it's funny when you use the term anecdotally, it makes it sound like it's somehow less significant, but we hear these stories, these examples of this speck, as you say, of fentanyl. That's someone's first time. They didn't know it was in marijuana, whatever it is. First of all, what is fentanyl and why is it so deadly?
So fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. It's a man-made opioid. And obviously, when it's man-made in a pharmacy, in a pharmaceutical lab, and distributed through a pharmacy, it helps. It helps people, especially at the end of their life, if they're struggling with cancer. It's a very strong drug. It takes away the pain. We have fentanyl patches for people who are struggling at the end of life with intense pain. But when it's made in a basement lab or an apartment lab by a drug dealer who does not know what they're doing, yes, one speck, one little salt speck, one little sand speck of fentanyl can kill somebody. We have Drug Enforcement Administration agents going in to make these arrests in these labs, and sometimes they get knocked out just by the fumes of the fentanyl.
When someone comes in addicted to fentanyl, how much more difficult is it for them to get the treatment that they need that would be effective to hopefully avoid them relapsing again? Is it different than any other rehab?
So an opioid fentanyl detox is very, very, it's very trying for the person who is detoxing. It's very different. You have to go into withdrawal in order for them to start giving you the medications that you need to help you through the withdrawal symptoms, but you have to go into the withdrawal first. A withdrawal symptom is something like the flu times 1,000. Withdrawal symptoms are probably one of the worst symptoms that I've ever heard of in anybody. We have a great video up on our website. Montclair High School students called me in to help them with the opioid documentary that they wanted to do. And we have 3 or 4 individuals on there explaining what a withdrawal feels like. And you feel like you're freezing cold, and then you're sweating hot, and you feel like there's bugs on you, and you're scratching away. Your stomach is upset.
But they have to go through this. Sorry for interrupting, Robin. They have to go through this in order to get to what?
So what happens is they'll go into the detox center, and they have to wait until the withdrawal symptoms start. Most people come into the detox center high. They want to get that last high in before they get sober. They go into the detox center. The doctors there have to wait for them to go into this withdrawal. And that can take up to 2 days. So sometimes at that second day, the withdrawal is so bad, but they're not ready to give them the Suboxone or whatever drug that they're going to give them to relieve the withdrawal symptom. And then what they do over the 5, 6, 7 days that they're in the detox, they start weaning them off of it. And then that's how they stop the withdrawal, and that's how they get them sober from the heroin, the fentanyl.
But how common is relapsing?
Well, first of all, what's even more common, which is very, very sad, is AMA, which is like leaving against medical advice.
They just leave?
So after a second, I'll drop somebody off, I'll pick somebody up, drop them off at a detox center, get them in there. They're excited to be there. By the second day, they're so sick, they can't take it. All they want to do is go out there and get their drug. And they actually leave. They're in a nice, warm place, getting 3 meals, getting the care that they need, people that are compassionate and ready to help them. The withdrawal symptom is so horrible. By that second day, they're just like, I'm out. And sometimes they walk right out in their hospital garb. not even waiting for their clothing. They just want to get that drug inside their system. So we have that. After somebody does come out of detox, they stay in for the 6-10 days, whatever it may be, depending upon their situation. We see about 6 to 7 relapses before we see somebody really be able to grasp recovery or unfortunately pass away. It's not
Robin,
something.
let's do that again. I want to make sure that's really 6 or 7 people that you treat who are dealing with, who are addicted, will relapse before you have, I don't even know how you define a success story, and then
Well,
some will die.
let me redefine that. So when we have people coming out of treatment, detox, and even a 30-day treatment center, we see them relapse 6 or 7 times until they really grasp recovery, or they die. I mean, this is what we see, or they continue use. It's very rare. Are you going to see an opioid addict, someone who's struggling with opioid use disorder, get it the first time? The drug is so strong. It has affected the brain so intensely that it's something that I've never seen before. I've worked with alcoholism. I've worked with cocaine addiction. I've worked with so many other things. This is something I've never seen before. We see. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm very passionate, and I don't stop. So I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm not. Listen, you're passionate for good reason, but I'm also trying to manage time here. Also, folks, our website will come up, steveadubato.org. Go back and look at the interview we did with author Beth Macy, who wrote the book Dope Sick. It is a corollary to this conversation. Is there any silver lining here? Where's the positive news? And I'm not going to say fake positive news. Let's just come up with some positive news. Is there reason to be hopeful? A, and B, what would cause us to be more hopeful as it relates to this opioid/fentanyl crisis?
Steve, I wish I could tell you that I saw a silver lining. I really and truly wish I could tell you that. I don't right now. What are we seeing? So back in 2017, we had these big laws made, right? Great laws
Right.
that, the prescribing physicians had to keep a database
That's
on
right.
who was prescribing, so the doctors weren't
You'd keep track,
over-prescribing.
so people were not involved in a pill mill, if you will, or
Yep,
that,
and they,
and we were
yeah.
potentially trying to stop people from shopping around to different. So why that hasn't been overly effective?
Well, we've arrested a lot of doctors and we've gotten the doctors off the street that were illegally prescribing, which was great. And we have seen, in America, we've seen our 5 million opioid prescriptions drop to about 3 million. But
Okay.
with that said, from 2017, we've seen from 5 million opioid prescriptions prescribed down to 3 million at this point. But our overdose rates are still up because of fentanyl.
Okay, real quick, before I let you go, what does Narcan have to do with this conversation? What's Narcan and why is it relevant?
Narcan is naloxone is the name. Narcan is a brand name. Narcan is a medicine that reverses an opioid overdose, and it is extremely important. We have saved thousands and thousands of lives. In Essex County alone, we have saved 13,000 people by administering Narcan.
What is it?
It's so what it does. It's a medicine that goes into your brain and it attaches to your receptors and it redoes the opioid overdose. So the overdose goes away, the opioid comes out of your receptors in your brain, and hopefully you can survive. Nowadays, when we see the fentanyl, sometimes we have to give 2-3 doses of it now.
We haven't done enough from our platform at the Caucus Educational Corporation. We haven't done enough. I assure you we'll continue these conversations with you and other leaders in this field. And I cannot thank you enough for joining us. Robin Lavorato is the Executive Director of Essex Health and Wellness Recovery Center. Go to that website, find out more. Robin, important work. You're doing great work. You are making a difference, and we'll continue the conversation. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
You got it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
To watch more State of Affairs with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
The groovy new wave in insurance advertising is mascots. You dig?
We believe great insurance speaks for itself.
Of course.
Check out this tubular idea.
It's a mascot, isn't it?
Okay.
TBH, you need a mascot, IRL.
For over 100 years, we've focused on one thing and one thing only, our customers' claims. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
I am alive today thanks to my kidney donor. I am traveling and more active than ever before.
I'm alive today thanks to my heart donor. I'm full of energy and back singing in my church choir.
I'm alive today thanks to my lung donor. I'm breathing easy and I'm enjoying life's precious moments.
There are about 4,000 people in New Jersey waiting for a life-saving transplant.
Donation needs diversity. For more information or to become an organ and tissue donor, visit njsharingnetwork.org.
The North Ward Center continues to expand their services and outreach in Newark from the childhood years to the golden years, offering programs like preschool, youth leadership development, Casa Israel Adult Medical Day Program, our Family Success Center, as well as a gymnasium, and most recently, Hope House, a permanent home for adults with autism, supporting and nurturing our autism community, with Hope House 2 coming soon. The North Ward Center, we're here when you need us.
Recently, I had a chance to speak with David Wildstein, the editor of New Jersey Globe, about the party line. When we talked about it, the federal judge had not declared the party line for the Democrats unconstitutional. But since that interview, that's exactly what happened. Party line for the Democrats in New Jersey declared unconstitutional. What happens to party organizations and the line and ballots moving forward? Let's check out this conversation with David Wildstein. We're now joined by David Wildstein, who's the editor of NJ Globe, New Jersey Globe. Check out their website. Do important stuff every day. David, good to see you.
Good to see you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, this isn't a fun topic, but it's an important topic. Listen, we're taping at the end of March 2024. There'll be a race for the U.S. Senate, the Democratic and Republican nomination. We'll see what happens on June 4th. This isn't about that situation. But that situation has brought up the question of the party line. What the heck is the party line? Why is it so significant / dangerous? And why is New Jersey the only state in the nation that has a party line to begin with?
Well, I'm old. I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't remember life without a party line. It's the only thing I've ever seen. It's like you say, unique to New Jersey.
What is it?
Gives a preferential ballot position to candidates that have the endorsement of a county political party. And that allows names to be listed on the ballot ahead of others in certain circumstances. It's easier, it makes the name easier to find. It links recognizable names on a ballot with unrecognizable names. So if you're a new candidate and you're in a tough race and a lot of people don't know who you are, you benefit by the coattails of other people on the ballot, whether it's Joe Biden this year, or whether it was Cory Booker a couple of years ago. You get a benefit of being in that same column with names that voters recognize and trust.
David, let's just, Usami is our executive producer of post-production. Usami, can you put up the graphic that David provided us? Okay, do us a favor. Talk us through, David Wildstein, who's on the line?
So you see column A. It was a drawing. Yeah. That's the organization column. Some counties, remember in New Jersey, if you've seen one county, you've seen one county. So you have 21 different county clerks designing their ballots differently.
Is this for 2020?
2020. This is 2020.
Go ahead.
Mercer County, there was a convention, and 2 of the candidates received 40% of the votes, so they get to run on the line. That's Christine Conforti and Stephanie Schmidt. Conforti was Schmidt was actually the top vote getter. She got to use that same slogan. So if you look at it and you see Biden's slogan, Booker's slogan, Schmidt's, you've got one candidate there. But then in the next column, you have another guy, David Applefield. He didn't hit that mark at the convention. He's off to the side. Mercer is the only county in New Jersey that will put more than one candidate for the same office in their column if they hit a benchmark on the at their convention.
But that is, hold on, so-called ballot Siberia, meaning it's very hard to find a candidate. P.S., just so everybody understands this, we don't know who's going to win the race for the Democratic nomination in the U.S. Senate. It's not the issue here, but Andy Kim, the congressman who doesn't have the party endorsement in a whole range of prominent democratically controlled and influenced counties, if you will, the First Lady, Tammy Murphy, does. What Kim is saying is he could be in ballot Siberia. Is that what we're looking at right now, David?
And so you're looking at Cumberland County Democratic primary 2020. And you see this was the race for Jeff Van Drew's seat, right? After he switched parties, a lot of Democrats wanted to run for Congress. Bridget Callahan Harrison was the organization candidate. She had a line in Cumberland County. So she ran with Biden and Cory Booker and the organization candidates for, in those days, still called freeholders. Then they do a drawing. Bernie Sanders is running for president. He gets column B. He's in the next column. And Larry Hamm, running for U.S. Senate, bracketed with Sanders. Then,
okay. Who are these people over to the right?
These are Will Cunningham, Bob Turkovich, John Francis, Amy Kennedy. These are the ones that were also running for Congress, but they're all the way over on the other side. And then you look under Kennedy and see Jack Cerency and Donna Pearson running for freeholder. They were on a line bracketed with Amy Kennedy. And you've got a candidate for a local position, LaRue Smith, down at the bottom. You barely can even see her. So what ballot Siberia means is a huge amount of white space, like snow in Siberia, a huge amount of white space that separates the organization candidates from the others.
David, why the heck is New Jersey the only state in the nation that does this?
You know, I guess another way of asking it, Steve, is why don't the other 49 states do this? It's not for me to say that it's right or wrong.
Well, hold on, David. You know the answer to that. The answer is most other states.
You bosses.
Well, put it this way. And David knows I understand this from a certain perspective. I'm from Essex County. My dad, who passed away 3.5 years ago, David knew very well. Early on in his career, ran against the party bosses, ran, quote, off the line. Then when he became more powerful, he was with the party line. Translation, I understand this. However, the question is this. What about if I said, David, devil's advocate, other states realize that it's unfair, some would argue undemocratic, and it makes it almost impossible, virtually impossible for a candidate who doesn't have the organization support to win off the line in ballot Siberia. And the people who do get elected are so beholden to the party bosses who gave them the line that they're really not voting on their own. Is that a oversimplification of New Jersey politics, David?
I don't think it's an oversimplification. I think that there's a lot of asterisks there. For your second part first. Does it make candidates beholden to the organization? Absolutely. Absolutely. Positively, no doubt that better ballot position, keeping somebody in office, makes them beholden. You and I have both seen countless people dumped from the line, denied organization support because they weren't voting or behaving in the way that people would like them to. But
okay, and also, isn't it true that Andy Kim argues, and again, this could be seen after the primary, doesn't change anything. Andy Kim argues that many of those party officials who jumped on the bandwagon for Tammy Murphy, and she was given the line in Essex County and Passaic County and Middlesex County and Camden County, I think Bergen as well, because they didn't want to anger their party bosses, or they didn't want to anger the governor. That's the argument that Andy Kim makes. And so that he's put in a ridiculously unfair position, and Tammy Murphy has an absurd advantage. Is that just politics in New Jersey, David?
Well, it's partly politics in New Jersey, but it's also not all of those counties had the same process. Bergen had a secret ballot. Tammy Murphy had the support of the party leadership, but county committee and you and I could probably spend a half hour explaining what county committee are, but they are the lowest rung of political insiders in New Jersey. They are elected by people literally in their own neighborhood to represent members of the party in that district. They all voted in Bergen County, and Tammy Murphy won. Now, and it's a secret ballot. Some
but that's
counties,
the exception, David. Respectfully, that's the exception. That in other secret ballot situations, and again, I don't want to do the horse race thing, but Andy Kim's argument is that when you force people to vote publicly, and I was a county committee member at 18 years of age, quote, off the line, in my neighborhood in Newark, New Jersey, where I grew up.
And
here's the point:
I 18 off the line too, and won with 68% of the vote because there's nobody who can't win a county committee seat in their own neighborhood if they work hard enough, regardless of whether.
But here's the thing. Andy Kim argues that a secret ballot in most cases allows people to vote their conscience. By having to stand up and raise your hand or say who you're going to vote for, many of those people, Andy Kim argues, have contracts and jobs and are connected to the party bosses and are afraid of pissing them off. And so they did what they were expected to do. Oversimplification again?
He's not completely wrong. He's not completely right, but he's got some.
And also, Andy Kim had the party endorsement in the line when he ran for the House of Representatives several times. But go ahead.
You and I both got the benefit of running on a line too. I mean, we past life that neither of us really wants to talk much about. But this is the system, and maybe the system is broken. I think there's a lot that they can do better. I think some places do democracy better than others, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And I'll give you, I'll tell you.
Real quick, David, I'm going to do this. We'll do another segment because we're running out of time. Yeah, I promise we'll do another segment because it's not going away. Yes or no? Do you think the party line culture is about to end in New Jersey?
I think the party line culture is about to change dramatically in New Jersey. It might be gone completely, but it will most definitely be changed.
David Wildstein, editor of New Jersey Globe, one of our media partners. Check it out. Interesting, important information. Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Adubato. That's David Wildstein. We'll see you next time.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 30 years in public broadcasting. Funding has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the Russell Berry Foundation, Operating Engineers, Local 825, New Jersey's Clean Energy Program, Rutgers University, Newark, Johnson & Johnson, NJM Insurance Group, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, and by Meadowlands Media.
The groovy new wave in insurance advertising is mascots. You dig?
We believe great insurance speaks for itself.
Of course.
Check out this tubular idea.
It's a mascot, isn't it?
Okay.
TBH, you need a mascot, IRL.
For over 100 years, we've focused on one thing and one thing only, our customers' claims. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
I am alive today thanks to my kidney donor. I am traveling and more active than ever before.
I'm alive today thanks to my heart donor. I'm full of energy and back singing in my church choir.
I'm alive today thanks to my lung donor. I'm breathing easy and I'm enjoying life's precious moments.
There are about 4,000 people in New Jersey waiting for a life-saving transplant.
Donation needs diversity. For more information or to become an organ and tissue donor, visit njsharingnetwork.org.
The North Ward Center continues to expand their services and outreach in Newark from the childhood years to the golden years, offering programs like preschool, youth leadership development, Casa Israel Adult Medical Day Program, our Family Success Center, as well as a gymnasium, and most recently, Hope House, a permanent home for adults with autism. supporting and nurturing our autism community, with Hope House 2 coming soon. The North Ward Center, we're here when you need us.